Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 2, and today I'm going to be giving you part 2 of What If Godlike Naruto was sent to a parallel universe, guys. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends on your social media platform, and also guys, don't forget to go ahead and check out the other what ifs of the other channels. Yes, I indeed have 4 of them guys, which I post what if on every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead, smash that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new, and I'll be replying talking back to all of you. And don't forget to turn on the bell notification to see exactly when I post. So without further ado, what do you say we jump right into this brand new episode? Begin now, guys. So, the last part that we left off, as Naruto Uzumaki, a teenager who was in the fight of his life, was ready to end this all. His partner, Sasuke Uchiha, by his side, as they face off against the terrible Kaguya Ōtsutsuki, the mother of all chakra, the progenitor of death, life, chakra, everything. She was a complete beast, a powerhouse that they will have to face. So that is what they did. However, in the end they failed, as both boys got killed. They failed to save the world, leading her to cause nothing but pain and destruction everywhere she went. As Naruto woke up expecting to be burned in somewhere, for his poor choice of not being able to save the elemental nation, he was a failure. However, he came to see none other than Kami. That was the god of gods. She was there to talk to him, as she told him the reason why he could have never won against Kaguya was, it was all planned out from the beginning. Her little protege, if you might call it that, Black Zetsu, has been watching and plotting for years upon years now, preparing for everything. That is why she knew everything. That is why they met their end. However, she needed his help. She needed to stop another world from falling into the same clutches like this one. It was a parallel world, as she told him there will be a few differences there, as she apologized for what he had to go through during his life, as she wished him his best on his new journey. However, she was rather cryptic in the end about, well, something about love. But Naruto wasn't able to overhear everything that she was saying, as he was sent away. Naruto found himself in a field when he heard the voice of Kurama, his partner. A brilliant smile came to his face, as he was glad that he was here. However, when Naruto looked into the water, he saw his reflection, and he freaked the hell out. Naruto was 13 once again, as he was rather shocked by that. However, what was more shocking was, someone was coming this way, as the fox told him that they had a part of him. Now that was surprising, as Naruto realized that it was another him. He was confused on that. How was that gonna work? He thought he would be the only Naruto in this world. However, it wasn't a Naruto, it was Naruko, a female counterpart of Naruto. Now that was rather shocking, as Naruto got to meet her. However, he quickly realized that she was smart, a lot smarter than he was when he was her age. As they got to talk, as she obliged to help him head towards the Hokage's tower. As they walked along the way, Naruto noticed that people respected her, as he told her a bit about himself, which made her sad about his backstory, because she had a similar thing in the past. However, she was able to overcome it, and now the people saw her for the hard-working kunoichi that she is. So with that, they made their way towards the tower. Naruko had to go and take her a photo because she was becoming a kunoichi. So Hiruzen was left with Naruto in the office as he sat down. Hiruzen tried to act like the rough leader he was, as he tried to know who Naruto was. However, Naruto found it rather funny though. After all, it's been a long while. So with that, he sat down and talked to Hiruzen about who he was. Just say the man was beyond shocked to hear what he had to say. At first, he did not believe Naruto until Naruto started to show him proof. One was the high shame that he had got from his father's memories. The other was, well, the seal on his stomach. The man was shocked as Naruto hugged the man. As Hiruzen realized that the boy and him must be close in his world. As Naruto started to let out a lot of emotions. Once that was done, they got into talk as Naruto told him everything about the past, involving Hiruzen's death at the hands of his own student, Orochimaru the Sannin. The man was shocked as he was silent for a while. However, Hiruzen started a plot and prepare for the future, knowing that it was going to be a terrible one that he had to face. As he had an idea though. Yes, he had a brilliant idea. As he handed over adoptive papers for Naruto. Naruto was confused as he saw what Hiruzen was trying to do. "You want me to adopt Naruko?" said Naruto confused. So yeah guys, basically let's be left off. You guys can switch across and play check it for yourself. So what do you say we jump right into this brand new episode begin now guys. As Hiruzen chuckled at Naruto's reaction after giving him the adoption papers. "Yes Naruto," he said, "I am asking you to officially adopt Naruko-chan as your younger sister." He raised a hand, and before you ask, it is completely illegal because you're considered as an adult once you gain the rank of genin. And seeing that it's beyond the question that you will pass the test, I see no further problems with this. As Naruto looked up, his eyes were full with uncertainty. "But, am I ready for this?" said Naruto. As he was unsure. "All I really wanted was a family to call my own. But what if I can't protect her? Like, I couldn't protect the people back home. What if," Naruto Hiruzen said, snapping him out of his stupor. "If you keep on doubting yourself, you will never be able to move on with your life." A brief memory of a blonde woman with brown eyes in a Jonin jacket flashed across Hiruzen's eyes. As he sighed at that past memory. If you keep on asking yourself what ifs, you will never be able to move on to the future. You'll be stuck in nothing but what ifs. How can you protect those close to you if you can't save you from yourself? The Hokage word struck a deep chord in Naruto, as he almost forgot his words that he lived by. I, Naruto Uzumaki, never give up. As he took a deep breath and exhaled, a grin spread on his face. "Thank you, Gigi," said Naruto. "You really are one of the wisest Kages in the Elemental Nation." As Hiruzen chuckled at that. "You're wiser than you think, Naruto, so don't worry yourself too much. And also, I expect you to be well behaved when she becomes your sister." Naruto was about to sign until Hiruzen spoke once again. "I do not want to be a great-grandfather so soon." As Naruto paused, his face becoming tomato red as he turned to glare up at the old man. "What the hell, Sarutobi," he said. "How could you even suggest such a thing?" "Well, I may be old, but I'm not senile. I've seen the way the both of you act towards one another despite the both of you just meeting. And the way you look at her," he said. "Well, as Naruto started to stutter as a fox was also teased him inside of his head. "Hey, that's not the point," said Naruto. "And don't push it, or I'll burn your entire collection of Ichi Ichi series." As Hiruzen looked towards him sternly, before he grinned. "You know as Hokage I can ban the sale of ramen in the village." "You wouldn't dare," said Naruto. "And you would not dare go near my stash," Hiruzen said. The two of them stared at each other as they held their gaze, neither of them blinking, as there was a very tense silence, until both of them broke out in laughter. "Alright, fine, you win," said Naruto. "We have a deal." As they shook hands, both of them proud of themselves. As Hiruzen watches Naruto sign the paper, given what is to come, Naruto was going to be the best mentor and role model for Naruko. He could teach her and help her in so many ways that no other shinobi in this village could. And this was good because they all had to be prepared. Yes, every single one of them had to be prepared for what is to come, as Hiruzen wanted to make sure that the future is good for all shinobis. He did not want a world that will end in a couple of years, so he has to do whatever it takes to make sure that the world survives. As Hiruzen did a few hand signs as he released the privacy seal. It did not take too long. "Hey Gigi, I'm back," said Naruko, as she came walking through the office. As she saw, "Hey Naruto," she said. "Are you done with your talk?" she asked. "Yeah," said Naruto, "it's all good. Hokage-sama allowed me to join the Shinobi Corps if I pass a certain test." As the girl was excited, "That's awesome," she said. "That means you get to come with us on missions." As Naruto and Hiruzen chuckled at their happiness, she then noticed a paper in Naruto's hand. "What's that?" she asked, getting curious. "Oh, this?" As Naruto handed her the paper. "Why don't you take a look for yourself?" As she looked it over, her eyes scanned through it. Wait, Naruto Uzumaki? And then she saw her name, Naruko Uzumaki. As she looked back at Naruto's name, Naruto Uzumaki and Naruko Uzumaki, adoption? Her eyes and her brain took a moment to adjust to what this exactly was saying. Tears started to gather in her eyes. Yes, actual tears. For her entire life, she had people, yes. Despite them not being a whole lot, but she had people that cared for her. One being Gigi, and a few other people out there within the village. However, she had no real family. And yet, here she was, looking at another Uzumaki. And by this paper, that also means she looked up as a tear started to run down her cheek. Something that she always wanted. The moment she had saw Naruto, she saw how similar they look, as she had pleaded for him to be her family. She knew that it was a long shot, as she heard about the fourth Hokage, and heard about Naruto, but she never got his last name. But now, she felt a hand on her shoulder as she looked up to see Naruto, looking at her with a smile. She thanked whoever that was above for letting her stumble upon Naruto in the first place, because in those eyes she saw understanding, love, care, and the silent message that he would not leave her side. "So, you're my brother?" "Yep. I guess Naruto was cut off as she hugged him, as he too was surprised. However, it brought a smile to his face. All of this was a lot, but he was happy. He hasn't been happy in a long while, since that whole damn war began. But now, as his arm came around and wrapped around her, and pulled her into a tight embrace, as she cried, in pure joy. Time skip. As Naruto walked through the village, towards his destination, making his way, a wave of nostalgia hit him once again. It's like it's been a century since he last saw the village. It's just a lot and a bit overwhelming. As he walked, happy smile on his face. As he finally arrived to the building, it was the academy building. He would have walked in already, however, he was losing circulation to his arm. Naruko-chan, said Naruto, as he tried to pry her off his arm, seeing that she was hugging his arm since they had left the building. "Can you, let go of my arm now? I can't really feel it anymore," said Naruto. She didn't want him to disappear or vanish if she let him go, which she believed. As she looked up towards him, "Do I have to?" she asked. She was pouting. It made her look really cute. "Well, if not, I won't be able to write and I'll fail my tests. And I won't be a shinobi," said Naruto, "and go on missions with you." As she quickly released his arm here and that. Of course she wanted him to join her on missions. As Naruto flexed his arm, regaining back control. "Sorry about that," she said, as she placed her hands behind her back, looking as innocent as ever. It's my first time having an older brother. I guess I just couldn't control myself," she said, looking towards him with a smile. Okay. Whatever you say, Haim," said Naruto. Her face turned red at him calling her that, as Haim meant princess. As she walked behind him silently, as they made their way. As Naruto opened the door, his sister rushed inside. "Iruka-sensei," she said, "you won't believe the most amazing thing has happened to me." As Aruka simply chuckled, let me guess, you got a month worth of ramen coupons. She shook her head. Nope. Even better, she said. Look. As she pointed. Aruka glanced towards the door as he saw the boy standing there. As his eyes looked over Naruto. That's my older brother. You're what? Aruka said in shock as he looked at Naruto. The young blonde man had a sheepish look on his face as he rubbed the back of his head. As Aruka looked over Naruto for a long minute, as he was completely silent. He would have to talk to the Hokage about this. So you're her older brother, he said. Yep, pretty much, said Naruto. And you spoke to the Hokage about this, he said, looking at the both of them. Yeah, Jiji was there. He explained everything, said Naruko. Oh, okay, Aruka said. He was still gonna talk to the Hokage himself. This girl here, Naruko, was one of his favorite students. And he just wanted to make sure that she was protected. So what can I do for you, he said. Oh, said Naruto as he handed him the paper. That Hiruzen gave him. It's been a really long time since he saw Aruka, with the whole island training thing. When Aruka had stopped him, however, the man had gave him a message inside of his headband, for him to go on because he had faith in him. As Naruto was happy to see him once again, Aruka read over the note from the Hokage. Hokage-sama gave me permission to join the Shinobi Corps and be placed to the graduation class. You just have to administer a test and we're done. Truth be told, he had been eager to test his newfound skills and intellect on the Genin exams. Seeing that he had failed them 3 times, it would be good to pass them without outside interference, that being Mizuki. Aruka nodded. Uzumaki Naruto, huh? Okay, follow me, he said. Since I'm free, I'll be the one to administer your test. As he led them to one of the academy grounds, where 5 dummies could be seen in the clearing. On the other side there was a table with multiple shuriken and kunais arranged on top of it. As Naruko stood to the side to watch, Aruka nodded towards the targets. Alright Naruto, he said. The first one up is weapon aptitude test. Hit as many targets with the bullseye as you can, with only 5 kunais and 5 shurikens. As Naruto picked them up and held them at the ready, 5 shurikens in one hand and 5 kunais in the other hand. Alright. Ready? Start, Aruka said, as Naruto watched intently on the sidelines. Without a moment waste, Naruto launched both sets of weapons at their targets. The sound of 10 thuds could be heard as Naruto opened his eyes to show he had his eyes closed for that. As all the weapons had hit their targets right on their mark, he looked back towards Aruka, who was shocked, speechless, as Naruto was cheering on the sidelines about how cool he was and that he could have easily gotten Rookie of the Year if he had joined earlier. Naruto was a humble man, well after the merge. However, hearing Naruto shout and praise him like that, it made him feel excited about his accomplishments. Aruka finally was able to get his voice back. That's a perfect 10 out of 10, in less than 5 seconds. The only other person to hold such record is Itachi Uchiha, the Scar Chunin said in awe. Whoa, who knew that her big brother could be such a badass? Naruto thought with a bright smile on her face. Completely better and more humble than a jackass that she knew. Alright Naruto, Aruka said, since this is a field exam, we will not be doing a written portion. All you have to do is perform the 3 jutsus of the academy. As Naruto simply nodded, it will be easier this way. Alright sensei, he said. What's first? The substitution jutsu. Replace yourself with a chair over there. As Naruto swapped place to the chair before swapping back to his place. It was so fast, Aruka thought. Alright, up next is the transformation jutsu. Naruto brought his hand together and poof, as he changed into a perfect replica of Aruka, before returning back to normal. And next is a clone jutsu. Can it be any form of clone, Naruto asked. Aruka nodded. As long as it's a clone, he said. As Naruto nodded, he really sucked at the normal clone jutsu. It was a good thing that he knew this one. Shadow clone jutsu. A dozen clones poofed into the clearing. Aruka dropped his clipboard. Knowing the amount of chakra this jutsu taken yet, Naruto just summoned a dozen clones. As for Naruko, as she jumped down from where she was in complete shock, as she couldn't believe it. That was her new favorite technique and yet, Her big brother was able to use it so easily. Where did he even learn it? But it did not really matter to her. Her respect and view of him shot through the roof. Way to go, she cheered him on. As the original was left standing there, a smile on his face. Oh, okay, Aruka said. That technique was extremely dangerous because of the amount of chakra. To split one's chakra into two, so to be able to create a dozen without any effort at all. Huh. It seems this year younger generation is really something. You're officially a genin of Konoha, Naruto Uzumaki, Aruka said. The Taijutsu test, I'll give it to you tomorrow. Between team placements, so don't be late. You've scored higher on this test than the Rookie of the Year Sasuke Uchiha as well. The only one that even come close to your score in the practical is the Kunoichi of the Year, Naruko Uzumaki, who scored high in both the written and the practical tests. Aruka said as he was proud of the both of them, but there was just something about Naruto, and strangely enough, he kind of reminded him of the fourth Hokage. As Naruto turned towards his new sister with a raised eyebrow, Kunoichi of the Year, he said, as she blushed and turned her head at that, a little bit embarrassed. And when were you gonna tell me all of this, said Naruto. Oh, I was gonna tell you over ramen tonight, she said. As Naruto grinned, then how about we celebrate now? Aruka sensei treat. Hell yeah, she said. Hey, I didn't say that, Aruka said, watching the both of them yelled in joy as he started to chuckle. Huh, these two are really something else, he thought to himself. Fine, he said. My treat. After sharing ramen at Ichiraku Ramen, Aruka come to realize that perhaps these two were really related. After all, Naruto matched Naruko in eating ramen, something that shocked him and was also bad on his wallet as well. Naruto also come to learn that through the apologetic villagers from the past, from what happened to her. Several of them had came together and bought her a new apartment. And the place was spacious enough for 2 bedrooms because he knew for a fact that she wouldn't allow him to sleep on the couch. The meeting with the Ichiraku Ramen family was amazing, as he really missed them. Ayam was beyond happy for Naruko, as Toki welcomed Naruto, but however, he sent him an extra warning, hurt her, and you're dead. As Ayam also gave him a threatening look as well, as she had one of those large spoons in her hands, like she was about to whack him, as he promised that he would not do anything bad. And now here they were, as she opened the door. The place was spacious, and yet clean. It was completely different from, well, his place back when he was younger. Well, he supposed it should be different. A large kitchen that seemed to be fully stocked. She even had a guest bathroom. There was a large counter, and the living room area with a TV. Naruto also caught her grabbing her plushie toys and hiding them as fast as possible. But he already saw, which made her blush, as it made him chuckle, which made her blush in embarrassment even more. Naruto was surprised when he saw that the extra room was already made up, as he asked about it. She said that she had held on to hope that perhaps someone out there, she still had some family out there that would come one day, and she would want them to have a place to stay the moment they arrive. It was moving and also touching as well. At the moment, Naruto was staring at the ceiling, as he still had a lot on his head. His future plans to handle the threat of Kaguya. However, the door opened up as Naruko came in. She was dressed in a purple elephant pajamas. What's up, said Naruto. She looked down, not facing him. Can I, sleep with you? Huh? Why? Said Naruto. I can't sleep, she said. What's wrong? He asked. I'm afraid, she said to him. Afraid? As he motioned her to move closer. What are you afraid of? I had this dream before, where I get a big happy family, but when I woke up next morning they're all gone, she said. And I don't want this to be a dream. I don't want to lose you. As Naruto raised his hand before, he poked her in the forehead. Ow, she said. Did you feel that? Said Naruto. Of course, she said. Well, so you know that this is real then, said Naruto. And I promise you, I am not going anywhere. As he patted the spot beside him, she bolted towards then curled up right beside him. Big brother, she said. Yes, said Naruto. She spun around before she kissed him on the forehead. As she spun back around, good night, she said in a squeaking tone. A surge of happiness welled up inside of Naruto, as his smile was bright. Good night, Naruko-chan, he said, as both of them had a wonderful sleep. The next day, the rays of the sunshine awakened Naruko, and she immediately remembered last night as she spun around to see Naruto still asleep. All of her fear subsided. He was really here. This was not some illusion. Despite seeing that it was not, even yesterday, after everything she was so glad as her bedside alarm went off. As she sighed before slipping away, it was currently 8 in the morning. She turned back towards her brother as she saw that he was slowly waking up as she just looked at him. She didn't exactly know what her feelings were towards him. It was strange, right? She told herself. Yes, it was definitely strange. So why did she feel this way? She couldn't understand. She's never actually felt this way. And it didn't feel like just him being her brother alone. As she gripped her head, it made no sense, she thought. She saw the way the other girls in the class act. Several of those fangirls towards that idiot Sasuke. Sasuke was just, well, she didn't like him one bit. And Kiba was too loud and annoying. However, the girls her age already started to like several of the boys in the class. As she was asked several times about that, but she never felt any way about them. But now as she looked down towards Naruto, who was slowly awakened, as her thoughts were derailed as Naruto opened his eyes, forcing her to turn her head away. Good morning, Naruko, said Naruto, as she turned back towards him with a smile. Did you sleep well? Naruto asked. Yes, I did. Thank you for asking, she said, as Naruto pulled himself up. What time is it? He said. It's 8 o'clock, she said. I guess we should be getting ready to head to the academy. After all, Iruka did warn me not to be late. As he pulled himself up and stretched. As Naruko nodded, as she pulled herself up as well. Alright, I'll go get ready, she said, as she paused at the door. There's a fresh towel and toothpaste in the dressing table. You can use one of my toothbrush since you don't have one, she said. Yeah, thanks, said Naruto, as he pulled out a scroll and channeled chakra into it, as a set of clothing came out. Before leaving the Hokage's office, Naruto had requested some new set of clothing and new equipment, as the old man had called for one of his envoys, Nico. Additionally, Naruto asked for some 3-prong kunai to be made as well, and some chakra, conductive ink, and funjutsu supplies. Harrison already had the idea what he was going to use them for, so he told him to give him a couple of days. After getting freshed up, Naruto came out as he slipped into a new pair of clothing, an orange shirt, replacing his fishnet shirt, and also a grey hoodie over it, with a swirl of the Uzumaki on the back, in red, dark blue pants, and black sandals, as he attached the kunai holster and the weapon pouch to himself as well. The amount of knowledge that he has gotten from his father was a real game changer because it will help a lot in Fuinjutsu, as the fox was a big part of assimilating that knowledge. You're welcome, said Kurama. You've been quiet all night, said Naruto. What's up? Oh, nothing. I was just enjoying the drama between you and the vixen, Kurama said, teasing Naruto once again. Oh, shut it, you dumb fox, said Naruto, as Naruto stepped out to see that Naruko was also ready, as she saw him. There it was again, that strange sensation that she was getting. No, bad, she told herself. He's your brother, for come's sake. Stop thinking that way, she cursed in her mind. After the both of them enjoyed some breakfast, they headed out. She was a bit confused as he take a detour, but he did not head to the academy. Where are we going? He brought her to a blacksmith. Sure, she visited a few herself to replace her shurikens and kunais, but she figured that Naruto needed to gather a few supplies of his own as well. The Hokage had told him that the ink and a few other things will take a while. However, the kunais were a different matter. As Naruto made his way inside, as there was an old man with grey hair sitting there. Ah, welcome to my humble abode, he said. How can I help you two today? As Naruto pulled out a note I was told that the Hokage ordered some special kunai from you. The man looked over the note as he nodded. I'm here to collect them, said Naruto. Ah, well you come the right time. I actually had a lot of them in store. However, the only person that ever used them was the 4th Hokage, so I was actually shocked when the Hokage asked for them. It's been a long time since I opened that chest with those kunais inside and I realized I had enough for this quick shipment reply. As Naruko was listening, her brother was using something that hasn't been used by anyone but the 4th Hokage himself. Just when she thought she had him figured out, he would go again and surprise her with something outrageous and cool. A few minutes later, a dozen scrolls were placed on the counter. And that's the last one, the man said. All the payments has already been handled, so that's pretty much it, he said. Tell Hokage-sama it's a pleasure doing business with him. As Naruto thanked the man before taking them. So, said Naruko, what's exactly in those scrolls? She asked him. She didn't have that much knowledge on Fuinjutsu, but there was so much, so there must be a lot sealed inside of them. They are special kunais and plan to use in the future, said Naruto. Of course he could use them now if he wanted to, but he decided against it. It could draw too much attention to them. Really? Can I see them? She said, as she was eager to know what's so special about them, for her brother to buy them in large numbers. I'll show it to you tonight, said Naruto, okay? She pouted, but she nodded nevertheless. Alright then, it's time we head to the academy. Time skip. The Konoha Academy graduation class was waiting for their sensei to arrive. As they were chatting amongst themselves, this year's batch saw the highest number of heirs and heiresses from different graduating clans within Konoha, and suffice to say that many saw them as the greatest generation that Konoha has ever produced. Most notable was Nara Shikamaru of the Nara clan, who was currently sleeping, Choji Akimichi, who was munching down on some chips, Ino Yamanaka of the Yamanaka clan, who was currently having a glaring contest with her rival and her friend, Sakura Haruno, of who get to sit with the last Uchiha, Sasuke Uchiha, who was the last Uchiha within the village. As Sasuke was just trying to ignore all of them, as he was looking through the window, his mind was preoccupied by other things. Another member was Shino Aburame, of the Aburame clan. Then there was Kiba, who was petting his little dog Akamaru, the both of them being from the Inuzaka clan. And next there was Hinata Hyuga, as she was scanning the room trying to find her best friend. Hinata lost her mother at a young age, and since then her father became strict. She had wallowed in her self-pity and sorrow before that, being very shy until Uzumaki Naruko came in her life. The one who gave her kindness and friendship to do what she believed in, and not what others expected of her. In a short time, the Hyuga girl was able to break out of her shell, as she became a force to reckon with in the academy, only second behind Naruko. She also earned her father's respect, despite him still acting like a cool Hyuga. He smiled as he saw her progress in the academy. She went from extremely low to being the second highest. His daughter's confidence was skyrocketing and such. Her strength was also being shown. As she wondered, Naruko-chan, where are you? You're normally not this late. What is keeping you, she thought to herself. Of course she heard the rumors that Mizuki had sabotaged a test and purposely failed Naruko out of spite. She was so angry she wanted Jayugen to strike him right in the chest. She had spoken to the Hokage herself, as she was told that the situation was resolved. So she was sure that Naruko would pass the test. She had so much faith in her that she would. She was the best Kunoichi in the class after all. The door then opened up as Naruko stepped in. Several boys in the class eyes light up seeing her. She was extremely cute in their opinion, and not to mention, she wasn't fawning over Sasuke like some of the other girls. That is why several of the boys had crush on her. Naruko-chan, Hinata said, making her way down there, a big smile on her face. I knew that you would pass. As Naruko chuckled. Well, of course, she said. After all, I am awesome, she said to Hinata, who was one of her best friends. However, before they could go to her seat, Naruko turned towards the door. Huh, I told you that I would win. Everyone looked at her strangely. Who are you talking to? Asked Hinata. The last time I checked, a voice spoke up, making them look towards the door. Someone is coming. It is illegal to trick someone that you got hurt, getting you a 10-second head start. Naruko giggled at that, making several of the boys in the class eyes all fluttered at her. Her giggle was just so cute. Don't be such a sore loser, and you're paying me for ramen tonight, she declared triumphantly as a new figure stepped into the room. A handsome blonde boy about their age. As he had spiky blonde hair, he was taller than majority of them. Several girls snapped their head towards him as stars appeared in their eyes. Many of them that did well in their studies were rather shocked by his features. He looked so much like the fourth Hokage. Yeah, whatever, said Naruto. Even Shikamaru woke up at that as he glanced over towards the individual as Choji stopped eating. Hinata was the first to snap out of the shock. Naruko-chan, she said. Who is this? Judging by the forehead protector, he was also a shinobi, as Naruko's smile seemed to get even brighter. Hinata-chan, allow me to introduce you to my big brother, Naruto Uzumaki, she said. The class was stunned as they turned back towards him, as he simply waved at them. Naruto, come meet my best friend Hinata Hyuga and the rest of the class. It's an honor to meet you all, Naruto said with a grin. I hope we can all get along. As Naruto smiled warmly as he saw all of his friends alive and well, as Shikamaru was trying to understand what the hell was going on. He's her older brother? That explained the similarities, but why do I feel that this guy can beat all of us and make it look easy? Shikamaru didn't know why, but he had this presence about himself. Something that he immediately noticed. The rest of the Rookie 9 had various reactions. Shino was as calm as ever, not really showing that much emotion. His clan was known for that. Kiba was eyeing the blonde boy, who he saw as a threat to his position as the alpha male. Ino and Sakura are already bombarding Naruko with question after question, as Choji simply continued to eat his chips, hoping that Naruto was a good friend to talk to. Hinata was happy for Naruko to having a family member, something that she always dreamed of. As Sasuke was trying to get a glimpse of this individual's power and compare it to his own, he didn't know why, but something was telling him that this guy was stronger than he seems, and he seems pretty strong. Maybe it was the fact that he was taller than all of them. Hinata extended her hand. It's nice to meet you, Naruto-san, she said. Wow. Well, that's new, Naruto thought to himself, remembering the Hinata back in his time in the academy. She was extremely shy. Back then he thought that something was wrong with her, as he thought that she was always sick or something, but she was just shy. But now, she isn't even shy in the slightest, and there was no stuttering as she spoke. I hope you're a good brother and treating her right, or else we're gonna have a slight problem, she said. As Naruto looked at her, he wanted to laugh at the irony in this, to see Hinata acting this way. However, he remained calm. Of course, said Naruto. I had to make up for all the times I had not been there for her when she really needed it. So I'll try to be the best big brother I can. And that's a promise of a lifetime. That caused Naruto to jump on top of him. Thank you, big brother, she said. As Naruto was getting used to the extra weight, it seems like she just loved to randomly jump. Most times it was surprising, but he was getting used to it. That is when Kiba and Izaka approached, as Naruto had let Naruto down. That's great, Naruko-chan, he said. There was a small blush on his face. Why don't we go celebrate the Ichiraku ramen after team placement? My treat. As Naruto felt the urge to punch Kiba right in the face, for asking out his new little sister right in front of her big brother. His big brother's senses were screaming at him to do something. Sorry, Kiba-kun, she said, but I got the rest of the day planned with my big brother. Kiba deflated before he sent Naruto a glare. He's still new in the village, and there's a ton of things that I want to show him. Hey, Ino said. Speaking of that, how did you become a shinobi? I did not see you take the test with us, said Ino, as she chimed into the conversation. True, but Hokage-sama gave me permission to join the shinobi corps if I pass the graduation test which I took yesterday. Isn't that right, Aruka-sensei? On cue, Aruka stepped right in the room. Yes, that is right, Naruto, he said. Alright everyone, as you know, Naruto Uzumaki will be joining us as a fellow shinobi of Konoha. So I expect every one of you, and yes, I'm talking to you too, Kiba. As Kiba grumbled, to show him the proper respect you would give to your classmates and teammates and fellow shinobis. Do you understand, he said, as he received a chorus of yes. As Uzumaki's siblings sat together, Aruka then started to call out the teams. After a few minutes, the 6 teams were called out, and Naruto wondered if the teams would be different given the odd number. Well, that being him. Team 7 will consist of Sasuke Uchiha, as several of his fangirls cheer for him. Sakura Haruno. Sakura pumped her fist and told Ino that true love always wins. And Uzumaki Naruko, as Naruko frowned at that. However, Naruto squeezed her hand, signifying that everything was going to be alright. As Sasuke glanced down, the look on his face was one of happiness, something that is rarely shown on his face. The reason is, Sasuke liked her. There were several reasons. Well, she was strong, smart, attractive, and she was not annoying. She had the perfect attributes. She was the one that he wanted to help him rebuild the Uchiha clan, as he wanted to make her his wife. As Naruto noticed a look in Sasuke's eyes, glancing towards his sister, it kind of pissed him off. No, it really pissed him off. However, he had to calm himself down. Sasuke had to go through a lot to reach where he was in his time. But he still did not like the look that he was giving his sister. However, because of the odd number of students, Aruka said, Team 7 will have an extra temporary member until further notice from Hokage-sama. And it will be Naruto Uzumaki. A big smile came on Naruto's face, filled with joy and happiness, as they heard a thump as Kiba had slammed his head on the table. He thought that his name was going to be called, but he was wrong, as Kiba spoke up. But he only joined yesterday. How could he be placed on the same team as Sasuke and Naruko-chan, he asked. It was bad enough that he was not placed on the same team with his crush, but for him, along with another good-looking guy, to be placed on the same team with Naruko, a guy that joined yesterday as well. Kiba, I am very disappointed in you. Barely a few minutes has passed and you're already acting like Naruto is beneath you. That is not the behavior of a Konoha shinobi. However, Kiba refused, as the defiance was still in his eyes. However, Aruka got the idea. He announced the rest of the teams. Kiba was on Team 8 with Hinata and Shino. Team 9 was still inactive. And Team 10 was the Inashikocho. Alright. Naruto called out Aruka. Yes, Sensei, said Naruto. I still haven't graded your taijutsu yet, and I believe that we have the perfect opportunity to do that right now. The class was stunned by that news. He passed the test without taking the taijutsu portion. Many of the girls started to see him in a new light, as many of the boys started to see him with more jealousy. As Naruto picked himself up and walked over towards Aruka. I guess that's alright with me. I haven't had a good fight in a very long while. So who's gonna be my opponent? I was thinking about putting you against Sasuke, but Kiba seemed to be very unconvinced of your skills as a shinobi. Therefore, you'll be facing Kiba Inuzaka. Alright, Kiba said with a smirk. Just you wait, soon I'll show everyone and Naruko-chan that I am the top dog here. As Akamaru looked towards Naruto and started to whimper a bit, as the dog could perhaps feel something that Kiba was not feeling, and the dog was unsure. Kiba then went on to run his mouth as he spoke like Naruto was some kind of trophy that he was gonna win by showing that he was top dog. It pissed Naruto off. Hey, Naruto said, shutting the boy up. Listen here. I don't care if you believe that you're some kind of top dog or alpha or whatever you want to believe. I do not concern or give a damn about that. However, watch your mouth when you talk about my sister like she's some kind of object, like she's some trophy to be won. She isn't anyone's to be win, especially not in some kind of competition. Do you understand me? Said Naruto. Naruto's words were quiet and soft, and yet the entire class was just completely quiet. No one said a word, as everyone just looked at him. Maybe it was his height that was scaring the crap out of them. Granted, he wasn't that much tall, but his height was far above Kiba in terms of being a normal child. And he was their age. Kiba started to feel something that he has not felt from another academy student, and that was fear. He has always been the, I wouldn't say bully, but the one that has been able to talk the most. And yeah, because he was the Inuzaka, the wild, unpredictable one. However, this guy, Hinata leaned over towards Naruko's ears. I didn't know that he was an overly protective type. But that's awesome, she said, in a whisper, as Hinata was glad that someone finally put Kiba in his place. He always spoke about the girls in the class like they were some kind of, well, thing to be won. She heard him speak like that on several occasions finally. Someone was able to shut him up, and she liked that. As Naruko felt touched. She usually brushed off Kiba comments like it was nothing. However, he was someone that was annoying and get on your nerves. However, the way Naruto stepped in and protected her, with just his words alone, it made her feel so much loved and cared about. As a small blush came on her face, as she was filled with happiness. You know, I'm never one for the overboard showing. Who the hell are you trying to lie to, said Kurama. You not being one for being a bit overboard. Alright, fine, said Naruto, I guess I was lying. However, I have to make sure that he doesn't see my sister as some kind of, object. Don't worry, I think it was good, said Kurama, putting that dog boy in his place. Did you see the look on his face? As Kurama laughed, finding it quite enjoyable. The next time Alpha Dog comes out of his mouth, that word will be attached to your name. Huh, I didn't know that he would get scared so easily. And I guess I got a bit too, well, I have to protect her, right? Oh, don't you see, said Kurama. You were just protecting your mate when you heard that remark, and you got really protective. That's what having a soulmate is all about. What? Said Naruto. It's not like that, he said, as Kurama simply laughed in his face. Yeah, keep on telling yourself that, he said. She's my sister, said Naruto. Yeah, keep on making up excuses, because if you can find a link where the both of you were born from the same mother in this world, then I'll agree that she's your sister. But we're basically the same person, said Naruto. Oh, is that so? Well then tell me, are you a girl? Well, I don't mean it like, so what excuse are you gonna tell me now, Kurama asked. It's just, as Naruto simply blocked him out, causing Kurama to laugh even more. Stupid fox, said Naruto. The group was taken towards the ring. First one to knock their opponent out of the ring. If the spark get out of hand, Naruto will get involved. As both boys stepped inside and got into their taijutsu stances, everyone was there watching. Alright, begin! As Kiba tried to shake off the feeling that he got earlier as he rushed forward, he intended to end this with one punch. As he swung, however, Naruto simply ducked and stepped away. As Kiba looked over his shoulder, bastard, as he rushed forward, he threw out his hand, however, with a feint, as he lashed out a kick towards Naruto's knee, as he intended to knock his feet away from underneath him. However, Naruto jumped, as he grabbed Kiba's hand and pulled him down, before shoving him over to the side, causing him to hit the ground and roll. Come on, is that all you got? I'm not impressed, said Naruto. Kiba growled, literally, as he started to bare his teeth and bite down hard. Seems like you're all bark and no bite. Kiba lost it and rushed forward, however Naruto flipped over him, before reaching behind him and grabbed the back of Kiba's shirt and yanked him backwards. He then used his other palm and slammed it into Kiba's back, as he blasted him right towards the ground. As Kiba was sent rolling, as he dropped several times on the ground, rolling and flipping, before coming to a stop, flat on his back. Kiba was shocked. What the hell was that, he said. As he reached up and touched his lip, he bit down too hard on his lip when he had been blasted out and bite his own lip, which was now bleeding a bit. He picked himself up as he wiped the blood away. You're gonna pay for that, he said, as he tackled Naruto once again, trying to go for all-around attack, fists, legs, as Naruto realized it was similar to his spinning attack that he used in Chunin exams. However, this was not infused with chakra, this was just him moving every single part of his body for an attack, like a wild animal. However, Naruto dodged and evaded every single one of the strikes. Kiba was shocked as Naruto stepped into his guard and slammed a fist into his stomach. The Inuzaka dropped to his knee as Naruto got behind him and kicked him in the back. Kiba felt pain shot through him as he rolled. He tried to stand, however, Naruto grabbed him and lifted him before, dropping him on the ground. As Kiba cried out in pain, he was done. Naruto placed a foot on his chest. You still want to fight? Or do you want to give up? Naruto asked. Damn it, said Kiba. I forfeit. Winner, Naruto Uzumaki, Haruka announced. Because of his background, because of his clan, Kiba was a good fighter, one of the best in the class, and yet he was handled so thoroughly. He did not even touch his opponent. As Kiba got back up as he tried to walk back over to his friends. As he then felt an arm wrapped around his midsection helping him walk back to his friends. He was shocked when he saw that it was Naruto. Hey, that wasn't bad. You lost it a lot longer than most people when they fought with me. And I fought a lot of people, said Naruto. My advice is this, train harder and find a purpose to become stronger. And trust me, you will reach where you want to go. I guess you're not that bad after all, Kiba said, with a small grin. And you're a pretty good fighter yourself. Thanks for that. Don't think this is over, said Kiba. In the future, I will have my rematch, and I'll come back better and stronger. There's no denying that, said Naruto, as he extended a hand as Kiba took it. Haruka was bursting with pride and joy. Well done, you two, he said. Proud of them for solving their little problem back in the class, and now becoming actual friends. That wasn't much of a fight. Everyone turned and Sasuke stood there, his arms folded. Dog breath over there barely gave the dope any sort of challenge. That's what you get for being weak, loser. What do you say to me, you bastard? Kiba said. Let me go, Naruto, he said. Easy, said Naruto. Running into something without thinking will get you hurt. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about, said Naruto. As Sasuke was smirking a very arrogant smirk. That was one thing that he needed to break out of Sasuke, his arrogance. However, seeing Sasuke like this once again, back in the academy, Naruto started to laugh, confusing the people. What? You're laughing because you're too afraid to face me, huh? Is that it, Sasuke asked. No, it's not that, said Naruto. I'm laughing about the joke that you made about Kiba being a loser. I mean, he could see that I was far outclassing him in the spar, but he never gave up until he realized he could no longer move. Keep on getting back up no matter what. And you call that a loser? Because he is. I'm a Uchiha. I can beat you in under a minute. Oh, is that so? Well then, Uchiha-san, said Naruto. Do you wish to give it a try? Sasuke smirked darkly. I was hoping that you would say that. But guys, be in so right here. For the next part, and do like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. But I'm over now. See you guys soon. Peace, guys.